So recently I asked on Twitter how people who used to be Zionists became anti-Zionists, and I found the responses absolutely fascinating. In general, there seemed to be four reasons why people came to reject Zionism. The first was direct experience. A lot of people had been to Israel and they entered Israel as Zionists, and after seeing the apartheid and inequality, came out of Israel actually as anti-Zionists. So for instance, one person mentioned that while they're in Israel, they saw Gaza, and to them, even back then in 1996, it looked like an open-air prison, and after that became anti-Zionist. The second reason a lot of people come to reject Zionism is part of a larger change in beliefs with their rejection of Christian Zionism. In other words, there's a bit of a religious transformation in that also affects their political beliefs. If you don't know what Christian Zionism is, it's a very weird belief system that the Israeli state needs to be established in order for the end times to occur. And a lot of people have come to reject these weird beliefs, even if they still remain Christian, and in doing so also rejected Zionism. For instance, one person, I'm going to quote this at full, said, "I turned away from evangelical Zionism around the age of 13. When I began to question and then resist my father's efforts to indoctrinate me in biblical inerrancy, prosperity gospel, and end-time Zionism." So there you go. Religious transformation can also become a way of rejecting Zionism. Third, and this is far more simple, a lot of people came to reject Zionism after some education or doing just a bit of research. I found one particular response very interesting. This is someone who's invited on Birthright. If you don't know what Birthright is, that's pretty much Israel offers to young Jewish people the chance to come to Israel and see how great it is, which we know is a lie, but that's part of their propaganda campaign. And this one person was invited to Birthright, and they started doing some research. And then as they did their research on how Israel was founded and the whole history, they realized how terribly treated Palestinians were, and they actually went from being a Zionist to becoming an anti-Zionist. Fourth and finally, though, so many people came to reject Zionism after the Israeli state had killed and massacred so many children. And that's a pretty valid reason. When we see these images of these poor children killed, it's hard not to be shocked. So one person, in response to my question of how they became anti-Zionists, they said one word: kids. That was their tweet. Another person noted way back in the 90s becoming anti-Zionist after they saw Israeli occupation soldiers shooting kids in the leg, I should say. And another person also mentions the 2014 attack where Israel bombed a beach with children that killed 9 of them. So there you go. I think these responses are actually quite inspirational and just shows that Zionism can't have a hold completely on people's minds. Thanks.